It's just the analysis of financial statements where we just discuss them in detail now. And I'm going to start with current ratio. All right. Um, anyone that remembers the formula for current ratio, what is the formula for calculating current ratio?
Is it
Yes.
current ratio minus inventory or something like that?
Excuse me?
Is it current ratio minus inventory
No, that
and
is
then
something else.
oh, not a, doesn't current
You're close, but that's something else.
all I know it involves current assets and current liability.
Thank you. Its current asset is to current liability. So it's a ratio, it's a current asset is to current liability. Now, let's check these financial statements here. These are actually financial statements of ShopRite. They gave us current assets for this year. They gave us current assets for last year. And obviously, this is our balance sheet. We have shareholders equity. Under shareholders equity, we have ordinary share capital and retained income, non-current liabilities, and current liabilities. The question wants us to calculate the current ratio of ShopRite Group for the year ended 2020. How would we go about calculating that?
So I would say we take the values for current assets and current liability.
So what do we have for current assets?
4,200.
4,200. And I just need to bring this to your attention, guys. That is not 4,200. How much is it, Sweden?
How? What do you mean it's not 4,200?
Look carefully.
So what's the question?
How do we pronounce this? What will it be? Is it 4,200?
4.2 million.
4.2 million. Now,
Oh,
nope, 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 nope.
then I don't know.
I'll help you. So because of this M here, it will be 4,200,000,000.
Okay.
M means that you have to put 6 zeros after that value. We good. Later on, you will encounter something like this. And then underneath it, they will just write 20. What is this 20?
1,000.
20,000. All right, let me just take it a step further. What if you're given something like this? Then what is that? Yes? What is that?
$34 billion,
Thank you.
601 million,
Yes,
400.
correct. All right, that is perfect. Okay, I'm gonna move on. But here, guys, the rents don't really matter because when it comes to ratios, the zeros will ultimately cancel out. So it really doesn't matter. I'm just gonna take it as 4,200 is 2. So it'll be 4,200 is to 3,000 Rand. Okay, it's 4,200 is to 3,000 Rand. Now, how do I simplify this ratio? Let's see if you guys do remember grade 8 maths. On the liability side, you need to have 1. So what are we going to do to make sure we have 1 on the liability side? Yes.
Repeat your question.
What am I going to do to simplify this ratio? And on the liabilities side, I need to have 1.
You divide by 2,000.
What did you say?
Divide by 2,000.
Yeah.
On both sides, right?
Yes.
So I've got 4.2. This side I've got 2,000. To simplify this, to make sure I'm left with 1 on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, I'm going to divide both sides by 2,000. This side I'll divide by 2,000. This will give me 1. What will be my asset?
Come again.
What will be my assets? What is 4.2 divided by 2?
Isn't it
Point.
2,1?
It's 2,1. Now tell me, what does this say about this business?
Means, doesn't it mean that they have more assets than liabilities?
But which asset?
Current assets.
Current assets. Now, what does it say about the liquidity of this business?
That's it's
What is
current
liquidity?
assets.
Isn't it high?
It's high, but what does it stand for?
The ability of a business to
Is it not the trademark, something like that?
You're so close. Tony,
The
ability of the business to?
invest in trademarks?
Nope,
to liquidize their assets, isn't it, or something?
no. Liquidity refers to the company's ability to settle short-term debts. Liquidity refers to the company's ability to settle short-term debts. Now, this company here, ShopRite, is highly liquid. It means that for every 1 liability, current liabilities it has, there will be 2.1 assets, meaning that it will be able to settle its short-term debts because current assets are twice more than the current liabilities. Hence, here we're going to say ShopRite Group's current ratio is good. The company is highly liquid as its current assets are twice its current liabilities. It means that the company can be able to settle its short-term debts using current assets, okay? That's all it means. All right, can I move on? Any questions? Okay.
So
Yes.
yeah, Maki and Offense is saying the connection.
Excuse me?
The problems with connection.
Yes, I understand. I'm recording everything.
Okay.
So I will upload it after the lesson, but I'm recording everything, okay? And I'll
Okay, sir.
yes.
Can I ask, sir, what handout is this one, sir?
It is the one that is written, were you at school on Friday?
Yes,
Yes, you were. Did
Yes.
you leave without getting the handout?
Yeah.
Okay, but
Yeah.
if you don't have it, it's there in Google Classroom. Okay, it's written analysis of financial
Statements.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
And it's
No,
a
thank you,
Word
sir.
document, okay? It is a Word document or PDF.
Okay. Okay.
It's
Thank
not
you,
a
sir.
PowerPoint or anything else.
Thank you, sir.
Cool. Just make sure that you have this because I left it blank. So make sure that you complete everything that I have here. Okay. Those that were at school do have them, but I hope that you guys did download them. I actually posted the Word document so that you'll be able to edit it if you need to. Okay. As I've said, guys, the current ratio determines the company's ability to settle its short-term debts. I just, excuse me. I'm just going to come up with this example here. Let's say the current ratio is 0.5 is to 1. What can you say about that current ratio?
It's low.
Elaborate further.
Sorry.
Elaborate further.
They've got more current liabilities than they do current assets.
Continue.
Therefore, their ability to settle short-term loans is bad.
It's bad. And what makes it worse is that your current assets are just half current liabilities. Are you aware of that?
Yeah.
So that is bad. So meaning that they have more current liabilities than they have current assets, and that is not good. And the liquidity of this business is not looking good at all. Okay. Asset test ratio, on the other hand, guys, it's similar to your current ratio, except that from your current assets, you need to minus your inventory. Okay. All right, this is incorrect here. It's supposed to say current assets minus current minus your inventory is to current liabilities. That's how it is. So we need to minus trading stock in this case. So your asset test ratio simply determines whether the company will be able to settle its short-term debts without trading stock. Will the company be able to settle its short-term debts without trading stock? If the company is highly reliant on trading stock, then it will not be able to settle its short-term debt. And that was the case with a lot of companies in South Africa, especially in the food industry. A lot of restaurants had to close down because they rely more on their inventory, and without inventory, there was no business for them. May you guys please calculate the current, the asset test ratio here. What are you going to have?
Are you asking us to say it or?
Yes, calculate.
4,200.
Yes.
Hold on.
Yes.
Minus 700, I think.
Minus
Yes,
700.
right.
That was good.
Right.
Now, please tell everyone, how did you get that 700?
Because isn't it trade and other receivables and inventory added together gives you the current assets?
Thank
So
you.
that means if you take the current assets minus trade and other receivables, you'll get inventory.
So you take this, you take that 4.2, you minus this 3,500, and it'll give you this 700. So you simply took the 4,200, you minus 3,500, it gave you 700. and your current liabilities will be 2,000. When you calculate this, it will give you 1,75 is to 1. So what can you say about the liquidity of this company, of ShopRite in this case? Is it good or is it bad?
Good,
It's
Why are
good.
you saying it's good?
because the current liabilities is lower.
Because the current liability is lower. So here's the question. Will ShopRite be able to settle its debts without selling?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, it will. Okay. It will be able to settle its liabilities without selling. All right. And please note that it simply means that ShopRite doesn't hold too much trading stock. It doesn't hold too much stock. If you hold too much stock, you will be in trouble because that will mean that your money is tied up in trading stock. And I did specify, guys, if you have 3 million worth of goods in the warehouse, note that that's where your money is. And for you to get that money back, you have to take all those 3 million worth of goods and sell them. So in this case, Shopify doesn't have a lot of stock on hand. It actually sells a lot of its stock. That is why it is so liquid. So we are going to say Shopify's group's current ratio is good. The company is liquid as its current assets minus inventory are twice its current liabilities. I'm saying are twice because we have 1,75. 1,75 is pretty much close to 2 when you round it up. It means that the entity can be able to settle its short-term debts using its current assets without relying on inventory. The ratio has improved compared to the previous year's asset test ratio of 0,88 is to 1. Now, my question to you is, how did I get that 0,88 is to 1?
Sir, sorry, sir.
Yes.
So this is about investing. Yeah. Didn't you say which one is good, sir? Is it good to invest in a company that is very liquid or to invest in a company that is not very liquid?
It's actually good to invest in a company that is very liquid because liquidity simply means that this company is going to convert whatever current assets they have into cash within a short period of time. And if a company is liquid, another liability that they will be able to pay is your dividends. So if you can't sell goods now, it means that you cannot have money now. So the best company to invest in, it is a company that is highly liquid. So your companies like Pay, ShopRite, those are highly liquid companies, and I would advise you to invest in such companies. Clothing companies, I'm not sure because most of them sell on credit and people struggle, especially during this lockdown. People struggled to pay off their account, pay off their debt.
Okay, sir. Okay, no, thanks, sir.
Cool. Now, please help me. How did I calculate this 0,88? Anyone?
You take the 3,000 from 2019 and
So
you minus
3,000. Okay, let me just write it here. So I took 3,000. I minus
1.6.
1,600 is to
1.7.
1,700. So you will have 1 is to 0,88. Was it bad last year? Anyone? Was the acid test ratio bad last year?
Yes.
It was bad, but not that bad because it was just down by 0,22. Okay, so it has improved slightly, not slightly actually, by a big portion. So it is good this year. All right, it has improved from a very negative amount. It determines, as I've said, it determines the company's ability to settle its short-term debts without relying on trading stock. If I ask you, why do we calculate acid test ratio? we simply calculate to check if the company will be able to settle its short-term debts without relying on its trading stock. Yes, Tony.
I worked it out, but I got 0.82 and not 0.88.
Is it 0.82?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Unless I'm wrong.
Well, I don't know. So for now, I'm trusting you. 0.82, because I don't have a calculator with me right now. I will correct it afterwards. Okay. Thank you, Tony. Let's move on. So here we are given the acid test ratio, which is 3.1:1 for the financial year ending 28th February 2020. We need to calculate the value of inventory. How will we go about doing that? Anyone? Anyone?
Can't we set up like an equation?
Tell me, how am I gonna go about doing that?
Can't we say 7,000 minus X
So you said,
over,
just to wait a little bit.
okay,
You said 7,000
I might be wrong,
minus X, yes.
over 2,000.
Over 2,000. Correct.
And then 1.
Is equals to what?
Isn't it 1?
Nope.
No, 3,1.
3,1. Now to solve for X here, what would you do?
Times 3,1 by 2,000.
How much does it give you?
Uh, 6,200.
We get 6,200. So minus X will be how much?
800.
Minus X. Negative 800.
Negative 8, meaning that X is how much?
800.
X is just 800. Okay. Anyone doing physics here? How many people are doing physics?
Only 3 of us.
Only 3. All right. Physics
Yeah.
students,
I
and I
think.
got this from physics students. This is how they do it. I don't know what this is, in which topic they did this. They write it like this. Okay. But we know that the ratio must be how much?
3,1.
1 is to 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then all they do is that they cross multiply this. And when they cross multiply, they take this multiplied by 1, and then they take 3.1, they multiply it by 2, which is pretty much the same thing. Which topic is that, Tony?
I have no idea, but we do this in geography.
Is it in geography? Well, I got it from a physics student, which was Bushe. And then this is what you're gonna have. And then you just simplify and solve for X, it'll give you that 800. So you can use whichever method that works for you. Any questions? Any questions, guys? Okay. Then we've got debt to equity ratio. Debt to equity ratio, we are going to use this formula here. Anyone that watched the videos, what did I say debt to equity ratio is? Especially the first video. I think it's in the first video. What is debt to equity? Okay, debt to equity ratio, guys, simply tells you how the company has been financed. So here you're just checking if your company was financed through debt or if your company was financed through equity. Okay. And guys, a company that is financed through debt, we say it is a high risk company. And the reason why we say it's a high risk company, it is because when you owe people, they've got claims over your assets. And you cannot say to people that you, oh, this year I don't have money, I won't be able to pay you. They don't care whether you're making profits or you're making loss or you don't have money. All they want is their money back. You need to meet those monthly repayments. If you don't meet those monthly repayments, they will come for you. Coming for you means that to get their money back, they might repossess all the assets that you own, sell them in order to get their money. All right. So that is the disadvantage of financing your company through debt. So it's a high risk. Hence, I said, guys, the hierarchy of financing a company is by first using the profits that you have retained over the years, issuing new shares, and the last option will simply be getting a loan. Getting a loan must always be your last option. And the problem with getting a loan is that you cannot postpone the repayments. You must always meet your repayments. And if you don't meet your repayments, they will charge you more interest. And remember, interest reduces the profits that you are making. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'll get you, sir.
All
Get
right. Now, this is what we have here. As I've said, your current ratio is non-current liabilities is to shareholders' equity. I need you guys to quickly, I have like 4 minutes left. Calculate the debt to equity ratio quickly. This is debt to equity ratio of Shoprite Group for the year ended 2020. How do we calculate it?
8,635 is 2.
Yes.
31,279.
Correct. Now, your debt to equity ratio will be how much, Tony?
Hold on. Is it supposed to be like below 0? Well, not below 0, but like
Yes, it can.
0.
Yes, it can.
Okay, because I got 0,28.
It's to 1.
Mm-hmm.
So what can you say about this company? Is it a high risk company or a low risk company?
At the low risk.
It's low risk company because it doesn't rely that much on debt. For every 1 rand that is equity, only 28 cents will be your liability. So this is the risk here is very low. Debt to equity ratio, it is evident that Shoprite Group has a low risk as it does not rely on debt financing. The company has good financial health. All right. Someone please help us.
With?
If debt to equity for 2019 was 0.11:1, calculate shareholders' equity and retained income for 2019. Round off the final answer to the nearest whole number. How will we do that?
Can't we find shareholders equity first and then afterwards find retained?
Correct. How do we find shareholders' equity?
Don't we put it into like an equation and we make it X?
X.
So can't we say like 2,797
Yes.
do we have to minus anything?
No.
Okay, is to X.
Correct. And then how do you solve for X here?
No idea.
You just write.
Oh, we
another
cross
ratio,
multiply.
right?
Hmm.
And then what do you do from here?
You times 2,797 by 1 and X by 0.11.
Thank you. So we just cross multiply. And when we cross multiply, this is what we will have. How do I solve for X then?
You divide by 0.11.
Divide by 0.11. And it'll give you X. So X here will be 25,427. Once I have 25,427, what would I do to calculate retained income?
You minus ordinary share capital.
So you minus it, and once you have minus ordinary share capital, you will get your retained income. And your retained income will be 18,473,000,000. So it will be 18,473,000,000. I said, guys, our lesson will end